Ode to the West Wind by P.B. Shelley. This is part second of the presentation. Stanza 4. If I were a dead leaf thou mightest bear, if I were a swift cloud to fly with thee, a wave to pant beneath thy power, and share the impulse of thy strength, only less free than thou, O uncontrollable. If even I were as in my boyhood, and could be the comrade of thy wanderings over heaven, as then, when to outstrip thy sky speed scarce seemed a vision, I would never have striven as thus with thee in prayer in my sore need. O lift me as a wave, a leaf, a cloud. I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. A heavy weight of hours has chained and bored one too like thee, tameless and swift and proud. The poet now turns to identify himself with the west wind. He portrays about the west wind's spirit in his childhood age. He is growing old, and he begs the west wind to carry him along itself and give the power to feel the spirit of youth in his boyhood days. He appeals west wind to become one with him. The poet says that if he were a dead leaf like the ones in the first stanza, or a cloud like the ones in the second stanza, or an ocean wave that rides the power of the Atlantic but is less free than the uncontrollable west wind, or if even he were as strong and vigorous as he was when he was a boy and could accompany the wandering wind in the heavens and could only dream of traveling faster, well then he would never have prayed to the west wind as he is doing now in his hour of need. Referring again to the imagery in the first three stanzas, the poet asks the west wind to lift him as he would be like a wave, a leaf, or a cloud. For here on earth he is experiencing troubles that prick him like thorns and cause him to bleed. He is now carrying a heavy burden, though he is proud and tameless and swift like the west wind. He is now carrying a heavy burden that has immobilized him in chains and bowed him down. Stanza 5. Make me thy lyre, even as the forest is. What if my leaves are falling like its own? The tumult of thy mighty harmonies will take from both a deep autumnal tone, swift though in sadness. But thou, spirit fierce, my spirit, be thou me impetuous one, drive my dead thoughts over the universe like withered leaves to quicken a new birth, and by the incantation of this verse, scatter as from an unextinguished hearth ashes and sparks, my words among mankind. Be through my lips to unawakened earth the trumpet of a prophecy. O wind, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? The poet now asks the west wind to turn him into a lyre. He urges the west wind to become the lips of his outdated thoughts and spread them among the people to create sparks and ashes wherever they fall. He believes that his thoughts will bring a change among the people and start the golden age of mankind. The poet asks the wind to turn him into a lyre, a stringed instrument, in the same way that the west wind's mighty currents turn the forest into a lyre. And if the poet's leaves blow in the wind like those from the forest trees, there will be heard a deep autumnal tone that is both sweet and sad. Be my spirit, the poet implores the wind, be thou me, and drive my dead thoughts like the dead leaves across the universe in order to prepare the way for new birth in the spring. The poet asks the wind to scatter his words around the world as if they were ashes from a burning fire. To the unawakened earth, they will become blasts from a trumpet of prophecy. In other words, the poet wants the wind to help him disseminate his views on politics, philosophy, literature, and so on. The poet is encouraged that although winter will soon arrive, spring and rebirth will follow it. Let us now consider some of the literary devices used in this poem. These are simile, metaphor, personification, alliteration, and symbol. We will discuss these literary devices one by one. Simile is a figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing with another thing of a different kind, used to make a description more emphatic or vivid. The examples from this poem are driven like ghosts from an enchanter fleeing, each like a corpse within its grave, sweet birds like flocks to feed in air, loose clouds like earth's decaying leaves, like the bright hair uplifted, one too like thee, as from an unextinguished hearth, even as the forest is, like withered leaves. A metaphor is a figure of speech in which a word or phrase, literally denoting one kind of object or idea, is used in place of another to suggest a likeness or analogy between them. The examples from this poem are: Thou breath of autumn's being, tangled bows of heaven and ocean, angels of rain and lightning, the locks of the approaching storm, closing night, will be the dome of a vast sepulchre, the trumpet of a prophecy. Personification is the attribution of a personal nature or human characteristics to something non-human, or the representation of an abstract quality in human form. The examples are: O wild west wind, thou breath of autumn's being, thou from whose unseen presence the leaves dead, who cheruitest, destroyer and preserver, thou dirge of the dying year, thou who didst waken from his summer dreams, the blue Mediterranean where he lay, my spirit, be thou me, impetuous one. A symbol is a mark or character used as a conventional representation of an object, function, or process. The west wind symbolizes death and rebirth and power of nature. The dead leaves symbolize destruction. Winged seeds symbolize rejuvenation. Dying year symbolizes end of the season. Falling leaves and dead thoughts symbolize his old poems. The west wind also symbolizes an inspiring spiritual power. An alliteration is the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. The examples in this poem are O wild west wind, that is alliteration of W. Thou dirge of the dying year, in Bay's bay, grow grey with fear, when to outstrip thy sky's speed scarce seemed a vision.